So, when I say the word salt, what comes to mind? Maybe it's a vital nutrient. Perhaps you're thinking that, well, it preserves food or it's a flavor enhancer. Did you know that the word salary actually comes from the Latin word of salt because it was so valuable in the olden days? In the next few minutes, I'm going to teach you why you need to be like salt and what will happen if you apply my salt techniques to your leadership style. A few months ago, I happened to be sitting in church, and the message was on being a salt of the earth type person. And I got this lightning bolt that struck me as I was sitting there that there's something here, Ed. There's something connected to the leadership training that you do with your clients that you need to incorporate this analogy in. And I ignored it for a couple of days. I happened to be watching TV. There's Robert Irvine, celebrity chef, and he's on a trek going through the Mayan Empire and learning about how salt drove the rise of the Mayan Empire. And I said to myself, all right, universe, got it. Something's going on here. I'm supposed to do something with this. And so as I'm mulling over this idea of what it means to be a salt of the earth type person, what came to me were 4 traits. You see, salt isn't just a seasoning or a word. In my world, it's an acronym. I believe that leaders need to serve their people. They need to appreciate those people, listen to them, and most importantly, trust them. I think if you take away any one of those things, it's impossible to be a truly great leader. In fact, as I was doing some research over this and I applied it to the other things that I've learned and read about leadership, I found that everything comes back to those 4 tenets. If we're missing one of those pieces, we cannot possibly be the leader that our people need us to be. Now, maybe you're sitting here thinking, well, Ed, I don't lead anybody. And I would argue, yes, you do. First off, you lead yourself. You lead your clients, you lead your family. Maybe you're a volunteer at a not-for-profit or in your faith tradition. We're all leaders. Let me tell you about a client I was working with on this front. Got a call back in the fall from the board president of a local credit union. And he said, Ed, I need you to do 2 things for us. I need you to assess the organization and figure out what's going on with our people processes. But probably more importantly, I need you to assess our interim CEO. We're not sure she's the right person. Said, happy to do this for you. Got in, dug around. We talked about the processes. That's the easy thing. But what came out of my assessment when I reported back to the board is I said, I'm not convinced your interim CEO is the right person. Not as she is right now. She needs coaching. She needs mentoring. She needs the rough edges smoothed out. They said, can you help us? I said, I absolutely can if you believe she can learn from me. We agreed to work together for 4 months. The CEO and I met every week. And I gave her homework every week involving the SALT principles, how she was applying them with her people. And what I found over the course of the 4 months we worked together is it went from an almost adversarial relationship, like she thought I was there to almost work her out of a job, to her calling me even on our off days saying, Ed, I have a challenge. I'm struggling on this front. Can you help me through it? She's now one of my testimonials as an after picture, if you will, of what can happen when you focus on your leadership skills. The board is thrilled to death. Employee turnover has gone down. The credit union itself is gaining membership back and implementing vital services for their members that had been pushed to the wayside. They're thriving, all because their leader was able to adapt, change, and learn. Now, at about this same time, I received a call from a manufacturing conglomerate. And this owner had heard me speak, and he said, Ed, I like what you have to say. And one of my biggest challenges is that my management team will not make a move without asking me for my input. And it's draining me, Ed. I cannot get away from the day-to-day management of the business and do the executive things that I need to do. And I said, well, there's a lot of things we can do there, but certainly you've got a bunch of tacticians at your VP level and not a bunch of leaders, and we need to attack that. And we talked about my process and what I do. He said, Ed, I love the process. I said, I think it could work here. Great. So then comes COVID-19. And he says, oh, I can't make an investment in my business right now. I said, well, the challenges are still going to be there when things are done. And in fact, you've got bigger challenges now because of the coronavirus crisis. He said, I agree, Ed, but I'm not willing to make that investment now. Touched base with his general manager actually this week. And she said, yep, nothing's changed around here. Still the same things we talked about last fall, over the winter, still going on. And yeah, Chris still doesn't want to make the investment. They're stuck in this rut and they're afraid. They're allowing external events to dictate how they're running their business. Huge, huge mistake for them. And so what I want you to think about is how much do you want to change for your people? The people that you serve, your clients, your family, your maybe not-for-profit board. How can you build the principles of service, appreciation, listening, and trust into your wheelhouse? I've got that solution. I know how to build those 4 things into your wheelhouse and make you the leader that you were meant to be. Because I know that if we can be like salt and know the exact amount of seasoning that our people need from us, we will in fact help them to thrive, which helps their businesses to thrive. So if you're ready to be the next step and be a salty leader, drop a line in the chat box below and let's chat.